Your podcast is unique, just like every other podcast, or just like every other podcast tries to be. The truth is, figuring out your show's unique point of view is hard, but asking these 4 questions can help. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. When I ask clients, who is your podcast for? I typically find them casting a far too wide of a net. Some of them actually say everybody, which tells me they effectively mean nobody. Now, they usually adjust quickly after that and start getting more specific, which in turn helps me help them create a better podcast, or can help me help them refine their current efforts to make their existing podcast better. An element of understanding the answer to who is your podcast for is figuring out your unique point of view. And yes, I think that you and your podcast should certainly have a point of view. You're not Wikipedia, you're a podcaster. But finding your unique point of view is hard. For many, it's one of the least fun things about podcasting. But it's also a critical piece of the puzzle, especially if you want to have a show that stands out from the crowd. Now, my friend, Pam Slim, recently shared 4 questions that she uses when helping her business customers. These are questions that I think, when I saw them, and I know will help podcasters who haven't quite nailed down what it is that makes their show special. These questions will help them figure out what it is that makes their show special, perhaps makes your show special. Now, if you already have all of this stuff figured out for your show and you've nailed it down, then keep these in your back pocket for the next podcast you start, because we do that in podcasting. Be sure to take notes on this one, or better yet, just go to the article, which we posted at Podcast Pontifications very soon. Or even better than that, if you subscribe to Podcast Pontifications in your inbox, that's a free service that you can get to from podcastpontifications.com. You'll get the article, which has all of these links and notes all emailed to you, nice and handy for when you need them. All right, with that, let me ask you these 4 questions. Number 1, what is missing from the conversation? Of all of the podcasts that also cover the exact same topics you cover, what aren't they talking about? I'm going to use Sounds Profitable as an example. This is a newsletter and a show that I've been involved with since it began. Now, you know there are lots of podcasts about podcasting, and many of them do talk about the business of podcasting and how to monetize a podcast. But none of them were talking about podcasting ad tech specifically. So Bryan Barletta, host of the show, writer of the newsletter, took his years of podcast ad tech experience and made a show that stands out as its own apart from everyone else in the podcasting space, just by figuring out what's missing from the conversation. Question number 2, whose important voice or whose important perspective is not being shared? When you listen to podcasts that are similar to yours, whose voice is underrepresented? Now, there's an obvious play here and large opportunity for those from underrepresented groups or minorities, yes, but it doesn't have to stop there, or it doesn't have to be isolated to that. I'm going to take the Bangkok Podcast for it as an example. That's a show that I co-hosted a few years back with 70-some-odd episodes that I helped with when I was living in Thailand, obviously. Now, there are, as there were, plenty of travel shows that do focus on Thailand and Bangkok as a travel destination. But Bangkok is home to hundreds of thousands of expats, and even more number of people who call Bangkok their second home. They travel there every single year. Now, that's an instant audience of people who don't really care about the travel aspects, but want to know the city better that they've chosen to live in. An important perspective that was not being shared. Question 3. What obvious truths are being ignored? There may be a lot of podcasts talking about your podcast. Well, talking about the topics that you cover on your podcast. And many of those podcasts talk with plenty of enthusiasm. But are they ignoring something that is blatantly obvious and needs to be brought to bear? I'm going to make up an example here. It's something I've thought about for a while. I want to create a podcast that exposes the crappy B-grade movies and television shows that Netflix foists upon us and tries to make us think are good. These movies aren't really bad, but they certainly are not good. And I think we should point to them. Now, again, this is in the ideation phase, and I probably won't do it. So please, if this sounds appealing to you, steal my idea and uncover this obvious truth. Question number 4. What critical steps are not being covered? Now, this is especially important if your show exists in the how-to or knowledge transfer space within the niche that you already occupy. And so with that, here's another free idea in the podcasting space, because we have plenty of how to get started as a podcaster podcasts. But there are very few, if any, that are talking to the mid-level podcaster who is on the verge of turning pro. I know there are several pro podcasters who listen to Podcast Pontifications. I know there are many people who are professionals in podcasting who work at or on pro-level shows who also listen to Podcast Pontifications. Maybe one of them, maybe you, will take the impetus here and create a show that is focused on turning podcasters into pro podcasters. That's a critical step that is not being covered. Now, again, I encourage you, check the episode details for a list of those 4 questions, because you were driving or walking or washing dishes and whatever else. It's all available at podcastpontifications.com. And while any of these questions can really help you nail down your show's unique point of view, ideally, you'll consider all 4 of them. Most importantly, you'll have answers to all 4 of them. Because if you can't answer, it might indicate that you've a bit more research to do around the niche you're trying to occupy. Yep, study the others making podcasting your niche, because this landscape is constantly shifting. Let's do a quick Boostergram.
Now it's time for the Boostergram Corner.
Boostergram Corner. I don't know a thing about crypto.
Anonymous used PayPal to send their value for value payment with the following message. I love your little tweet threads, and I'm always learning. I hope this helps. Indeed, it does help. Thank you very much, Anonymous, and thank you for calling out those tweet threads. They certainly do take me some time and effort, but I also know that there are people like you who are very busy, who, for whatever reason, their own reasons, can't listen to the show, can't subscribe to the newsletter. They just don't work for them, but the Twitter threads are a nice way for them to get at least the highlights of the content, and when necessary, dive a little deeper. So I'm very glad that you enjoy those and have called them out specifically. Thank you. And if you're getting value out of this show, articles I post, the videos that I make, the Twitter threads, any of that stuff, any related to the content that I make, please visit podcastpontifications.com/value for simple ways you can support the program. No episodes for me on Friday, so with that, have a fantastic weekend, and I shall be back on Monday with yet another Podcast Pontifications. Cheers.